Howdy folks, Hal Corrects here, and welcome to episode 33, Thoughts from the Inner Sphere. Sorry this has been taking too long. We've been having technical difficulties from computer and internet, so videos started slowing down here for a while. Everything seems to be back in order, but let's just delve into what we're going to be talking about today. That is the 65-ton heavy catapult. The Catapult. Now, I like this mech. It's a pretty decent mech. It can fill two different roles. It can do a fire support mech role, and then it can fire into the short range with its medium lasers. And it can sort of brawl for a while. Now, it has a problem with armor, but we'll just delve into that here in a second. Now, let's look at the stats. The 65-ton catapult is a 4.64 mover. Cha-ching! Yeah, we got jump jets on this thing. I like it. Now, comes with 15 heat sinks, so heat is not a problem usually with this mech unless you're firing everything. Carries 160 points of armor, so 10 tons. And then it has two LRM-15s, one in each arm, with a ton of ammo in each that are located in the torsos. Carries 4 medium lasers for in close in your face work, and those 4 jump jets stuck in the legs. And you have all the medium lasers are in the torsos, like center torso and right and left torso. Now, what does the role of the catapult fill? Well, it kind of does the same exact thing as an archer, but it has jump jets and a little bit less armor. Now, what I like about it is that with the jump jets, this makes it a great city fighter in a way, because you can, if someone gets, you can jump behind somebody with these jump jets and get and unload with all the medium lasers and rip off some armor, and then jump away the next turn, and then get into a city block or an area, and then hit somebody with LRMs. And it is a very versatile mech. Now, like I said, the only drawback I find with this mech is its armor. And there are ways to deal with that. Is, like I said, is when you're talking about tactics, trying to find a place. If you want to go into the fire support mode, and that's what you want to use this mech for, put it in a fire support lance, and you're running it with, let's say, a Warhammer or a Marauder, and let's say, I think it was at this game, it was running with a Dervish Marauder, and I think it was a Valkyrie that was running around, and that was the scout that was going out front and spotting for the LRMs for the other two mechs, the Dervish and the Catapult in this game. And when you can do that, you can sit back and just rein in until the ammo bays are empty. Then you can go in and start knife fighting and kicking and screaming, however you want it, to your heart's content. Now, like I said, use the terrain to your best advantage. I think in the previous video we were talking about doing the rolling barrage. Now, this would be one of those mechs where you have mechs out front of it, like that Marauder or a Battle Master or something. You put it out front, and then you're sitting there using him as the tank while you're doing the fire support mode with this vehicle. But the drawback is that it only has 1 ton for each of those. And when you can only fire 8 turns, we have many games where 8 turns is not enough, especially when you're playing a campaign, and suddenly it's like either you're going to get in close and start fighting with those medium lasers, or you're going to be backpedaling out, turn around when you can clear yourself, and you're going back to the resupply bay and finding your resupply truck and loading a new rack of missiles in, and then you're turning around and going right back and doing it again. So you're rotating your fire support lance with the LRMs back. So someplace like a map or two back, you're going to have a convoy of either some type of mech that's carrying, it's like a resupply mech, or you got a convoy of heavy duty trucks that are carrying nothing but ammo to feed these things. And we have a tendency to do that in some of our games because we use hunters, and when you got a hunter that's carrying around an LRM-20, you're going to need lots of ammo for those things because they can just rain down death and then turn around and get back out of the game and reload. Unless you're playing some type of game where you can't do that. So it's what we play campaigns where you can do those kind of things. Now, if you're playing other type of games where if you leave the map board, the game's over for them. And that's usually some type of tournament or something of that nature. Sudden death. But how would you... Let's just look at the variants here. Alright, we have the one that most common of the catapult is replaces the 2 LRM-15s with 2 LRM-20s, doubles the ammunition, but only 2 small lasers for defense and enclose. So you're taking 3 more tons and you're throwing it into those. So you're cutting out 3 tons of medium lasers and throwing it into 2 tons of ammo, and then you're taking that other ton and you're throwing it into more weapons for the LRM-20. So you're looking at having to strip armor off this thing or heat sinks, one of the two. And you can strip off at least one heat sink and still be viable and without worrying about heat. Now, let's just talk about that. Heat with this thing carries, like I said, 15 heat sinks, and you have 2 LRM-15s. That's 5 points heats each, so that's 10. If you jump, that's 14. You're never going to heat up if you just fire LRMs and jump. Now, if you fire all 4 medium lasers, that's 12, and you jump, then you're going to go up 1. All right? That's not a bad deal. You can do that for 3-4 turns before you have to shut stuff down and not worrying about having any detriment to you. So you could also fire 2 LRMs, not jump. Let's say if you're stationary, that leaves you 5 tons. So you could fire 2 medium lasers without any problems. So you're only going up 1, and the third one will be 4. So you could do that for 1 turn. All right. Or you could fire like 1 LRM, and then that leaves you 10. So you can fire 3 medium lasers and not heat up. You fire the 4th when you're going up 2. Okay? So that's be like one of those circumstances where you come up behind somebody and you fire the medium lasers in their back, and you have a secondary target for the LRMs farther down range. All right, for 1 shot, just one of the LRMs, not both. You could do something like that too. So that's where the jump jets could come in handy. But then you're going to be cooking yourself pretty hard if you do something like that. So your best bet is just fire. If you jump in behind somebody, just fire the medium lasers and forget that you have those LRMs, or else you're going to be heating up. Now, when you heat up, that's not going to affect your ability to jump again. You could displace again 4 and try to get back behind the cover that you were behind, and then cool off for a turn. You could do something of that nature. All right, that's an option. Now, let's look at the second variant. Another version is the House Creta, modified the chassis with armor placement. The weapons have been changed. So basically, you get rid of the 2 LRMs and replace them with PPCs, 2 machine guns, 2 medium lasers, and so that's basically can be used up close and personal. When you think about that, that's a lot of heat. They had 5 more heat sinks, so yeah, they move a lot of stuff over into the heat sink department. But some of it you're still looking at cutting out armor, and that's always going to be a problem. Now, when it comes to being in the fire support mode, you have 8 turns. One option that we have done many times with this mech is drop 1 heatsink. Just 1. It gives you 14, so you're still able to fire the LRMs and still jump if you need to, or you can fire the 4 medium lasers and jump and only have a 2 heat problem. And what you're doing is you take that 1 heat sink that you convert it over to 1 ton of ammo. So you end up with 3 tons of ammo on this thing, which gives you a total of 12 out of each rack. That's a good option. You know, we've done that many times with this mech, and it works pretty decently. Another option, if you want to make this into more of a knife fighter, is drop the 2 LRM-15s to LRM-10s, leaving the 1 ton at each, so that gives you more shots. That's 12 each. That's more than enough. And then taking that tonnage, put another medium laser on this thing, so that gives you 5. And then you can throw it into more armor, plain and simple. And then you're running around for almost maxed armor on this thing. So when you max out the armor, that's a heck of a deal. So you can go in through combat and last them a little bit longer. And it turns it more into a heavy enclosed fighter. Because, you know, with 5 medium lasers, that's nothing to sneeze at if you get within 9. And until you get within 9, and with those jump jets, you can maneuver yourself around the board pretty darn easy. And, you know, you can dish out maybe 20 points damage if you're lucky, you've hit with both launchers, and you get max damage. That's not usually the case. You know, it's like 6 each probably for the tonnage. You know, that's not overly great. You know, that's the thing is about LRMs. The output for them is not the best when it comes to damage, but you're getting the range and not as much heat. All right. Comparatively if you're using like PPCs or large lasers. So that's the detriment back and forth. There's the pros and the cons. And a mech like this with a couple LRM-10s to help it close and you turn it into a knife fighter, that's not a bad deal. So there's 2 other options to help this mech out. And the most common one that I've used is just drop 1 heat sink for a ton of ammo. And you can just sit there and fire for 12 turns with the LRM-15s and do some good damage. And people are going to notice you. They might even come after you. And if light mech comes after you, you may scare them off with those medium lasers. Because let me tell you, a light mech getting hit with 4 medium lasers, they'll feel it. Because not a lot of them, you know, most light mechs, you're usually running around 72 points of armor, and you hit them with 20, yeah, they almost lost 1/3 or so of their armor. Yeah, they're gonna go, okay, we're gonna go someplace else. That's not a good place to be. So hopefully this gives you a couple of good ideas on what to do with the catapult. I like the mech. It always finds a way into a lot of games. Especially if I know I'm going to be into a city fight or an enclosed fight. I like a mech that has jump jets because it gives you options. And options can help you win the game. Alright, this is Hellcracks, and we'll talk with you later.